Here is why Africans or Black Americans should be proud of who they are and embrace who they are. Africans or Black Americans is a big factor in the Western world and the world as a whole. Black Africans, Americans, is a hybrid of different tribes from all over Africa with a little bit of European and Mongolic Asian mixture, which can be from 25% to 15% to 10% to 5% and so forth. A little bit of European and Mongolic. So they basically come from like 70% on up. Or some will say 60% on up. Regardless, if you got African in your blood, it would dominate. Even with 50%, you would see a lot of African in those blood if they only have 50%. Because it dominates. But African or blackness dominates their DNA. And so this is why their hair is kinky, coily, or curly. And this is why their nose is wide and round. And this is why their lips is from medium to big. Of course, you got some who got small lips because there's a lot of different types of African Americans. So African Americans are diverse in the way they look, and they come in from the darkest shades of black or purple or blue black to 16 shades of your melanin or melanated brown to the lightest brown. Their melanin gives them the power to absorb energy or the sunlight as energy. And this is the reason for their creativity and the energetic hyper nature. Black people is also what they are called. They're called black or black people. But also other names for them is nigger to negro to black Indians to black itself to African Americans today. But it really started in the 1600s or 1700s when they were called African Americans, way back then. And before it came back to the word African American again. African Americans today is close to 50 million people strong in the United States. Their language is English, which is European, but also what they created out of English from the African dialect is called Gullah or Geechee language. But then the Gullah Geechee language is from those who in coastal North Florida, which is Jacksonville, and St. Augustine, Florida, to Brunswick, Georgia, to Darien or McIntosh, Georgia, to Savannah, Georgia. And then across the bridge to Hilton Head, Allen, South Carolina, or Beaufort, South Carolina, to Charleston, South Carolina, all down the coast of North Carolina, which is Wilmington, or Jacksonville, North Carolina. So all down the coastline from North Florida to Jacksonville, North Carolina is Gullah Geechee. It's down the coastline. So it's from North Florida, Georgia coastline, South Carolina coastline, and North Carolina coastline. They are all Gullah Geechee. And also, there's more than 79 sea islands down the coastline from North Florida to North Carolina. And all consider Gullah Geechee people. Because they speak Gullah Geechee, but they speak Gullah Geechee in different dialects and tone. And they got a different way of speaking Gullah Geechee. And sometimes you can't understand them because the way we speak. The way we speak, you can't understand us sometimes. We speak so fast, some of us, and the words is not all the way fulfilled. So it becomes a lingo like speaking, but it's called Gullah Geechee today. It's in law that this is a language. So a lot of times they spoke this language, so the slave masters didn't understand them. They're like, what they just said? They didn't catch that because the way they speak. So it was like a coded language out of English. So that's how brilliant we was to create our own lingo out of English. It sounds like slangs. It sounds like broken English. But it's not broken English. It's a Gullah Geechee language today in law. Savannah, Georgia. Just for example, like Savannah, Georgia Geechee speak different than Charleston, South Carolina Geechee. But they're all Geechees or Gullah. They got it in their DNA. Their blood is still all Geechee and Gullah. Because some of the same slaves that was in Charleston, some of them were transferred to Savannah, the port of Savannah. So that being said, a lot of us around that area is kin to each other and related to each other. So this is an example I just revealed. Now, Gullah Geechee people faith, what their faith is from African spirituality, Christianity, and Islam, etc. And my DNA reveals that I am Gullah Geechee because of my ancestors. And I lived and I was raised in the Geechee land of Savannah, Georgia. And on my 23andMe DNA test results, my paternal haplogroup goes to say that I share haplogroups with Pharaoh Ramses III. And I must say this, over 60% of African Americans, especially Gullah Geechees, people share Pharaoh Ramses III haplogroup, which means this is our common ancestor. Not only in America, but I'm speaking of Americans right now, but so it's only 6%, just like they said on my DNA test of African Americans. So, with that being said, you got to understand it comes from the E1, B1A haplogroup, which come from the EP2 haplogroup, and it goes all the way to the EM2 haplogroup, all the way to the E-V38 haplogroup, to the E/L48.5 haplogroup, which mines come under that. So Ramses the Third, Pharaoh Ramses III is our common ancestors. Those who are African American, especially a lot of Gullah Geechees. You will see this on your 23andMe test. So that being said, let's move on. Most Gullah Geechee people and African Americans come from West and Central Africa. Yes, I said West and Central Africa. Of course, other parts of Africa, but mostly West and Central. And some of them even look and shape like a lot of West and Central Africa people. We talking about Madanka, Mende, Yoba, Ibu, Isan, Wolof, Timne, all these different tribes, even Fulani. We talking about all these different tribes, even like in Cameroon. We talking about the Balika people, the Bamoon people, the Fang people, the Congo people, the Bakongo people. So we talking about all these different tribes. From the Yoruba to the Fon to the Ashantes, yes, to the Akan people, yes. So a lot of African Americans and Gullah Geechee people or Creole Africans or blacks come from West and Central Africa. Of course, you got some who come from Eastern Africa and North Africa and Southern Africa. But the whole thing is that the slave trade and slavery is evolved around us. And so this was the spark of what? American culture. This was the spark of how America is today. It evolved around us, which is African descendants or African American. And this is where the African American culture come from. And what you got to understand that slavery had created pain, misery, mental torture, insanity. It caused all that in us. But it also transformed us as African or black people to survive. It gave us strength, creativity, made us unique, made us fighters, and intelligence. We as black people or African Americans have to fight harder than any other race or ethnicity to make it in North America. We got to fight for everything. Fight for land. We fight to vote. We fight for everything. We fight for everything. We got to fight harder. And we got to go harder than any other race to get a job. We got to go harder in everything to win. But we got the strength to do it. That's why we have to fight that hard when dealing with the Europeans. So, moving on, because we got to fight harder to make it in North America, And we understand that this give us scrim to make us more like thinkers on site. On site, we got to think, come up with new ideas, think of how to win. So this give us strategy ability. It gives us the ability to strategize and to create plans and know how to plan. So we make great planners. So this is what makes us different than the rest of the world of the African diasporas and also Africans in Africa. That we really sit in the belly of the beast of all the Europeans, which was, as we know, we're talking about the Germans, the Jews, the British, the Irish man, the French man, who are French, the Arabs, the Spaniard people, and more, etc. We sit right in the belly of all of this. And they couldn't survive in North America without us African Americans. Us African Americans showing them how to survive, showing them how to farm, how to build, how to heal, because we give them formulas of how to heal with herbs and stuff. And we help them grow in wealth. That's through slavery, through building, through doing things of that nature. We help them to be wealthy and rich. And also to be clean. Because we are some clean people. We wash in the waters or found the rivers and many ways to stay clean. But also the good food was fed their soul, the European soul. They like our music. They like our food, the way we dance, the way we entertain. Well, us, their life would be bored. Just imagine nothingness. So who really influenced this world? It's African Americans. So since America is the stage of all the wealth, we got African Americans in America or the United States or North America who they have us under them, but in reality, we are the influence of them, you see? So we really the rulers, but without being in the forefront. We rule through spiritual essence, through what we do. We rule through our actions. They take our ideas and they use it as theirs, and they don't give us no claim to it. But look at all the African American inventors that we have. So many, over 100 inventors of all these different inventions. Even with the cell phone, we have helped invent it. We talking about some of everything. Electricity, when dealing with electricity. It's African American minds who survived it. We talking about African descendants who survived it, all the slavery. We still created a way through all the hardship. We created a way. Our ancestors were so brilliant to survive all this, even in the situation on a master plantation. We created a way to survive, to make it. So all honor to the ancestors. Because they made a way. They sold clothes. We made clothes. We were good and crafty with the hands. So through all the beatings and through all the whippings and through all the mental torture by the Europeans, we still survived it to create this culture today. So all honor to the ancestors again. With this being said, the Europeans and Native Americans, it could be Mongol, Asian people, they loved the black people because we became the chemists, turning bad or a bad situation to good or genius status. Because we had to think of a way to make it. So it was new inventions through our minds, the ideas. And so the Europeans needed our strength, even in war, to be their fighters and bodyguards to win the war or battles. Yes, they use us to fight their battles against the other European brothers. Not only did the Confederate use us to fight for them, but also the Union used us too. So with that being said, we were the black loyalists, and the black Confederates. We protected the Europeans, even though we were fighting against each other, but they needed us in battle. So they use it for everything. Our ideas, our inventions. Even today, hip hop, who it come from? The minds of who? African Americans. So, even though they take credit for everything, it's us who had make this world, this society in North America that influence even those in Africa today. Look at your drill music. Look at like how they live in Africa today. They always talking about African Americans or black people, even in your Caribbeans. Some will hold hate towards us. So like you got some African American hold hate towards them. That's because a hatred of not knowing who you are. But the truth and reality is that we influence every part of African culture. It don't matter if it's in the motherland of Africa or the Caribbeans or the Afro Caribbeans or whatever. Even in Brazil, we influence everything in the world. Cause we are in the belly of the beast of the white man. So we know him. We know his game. We know how to beat him at his game. We know how to play his game. And that's what a lot of African countries don't know how to embrace or do. Just like in Haiti, how they tear up their own country. Instead of tearing it up, it's ways to remove the prime minister other than that. It's ways to do things other than that. They could have did it in a better way. Instead of having their people running and killing each other, and nobody's to blame but yourself. Because it was an all-black country where they can build and do things on their own. Even if they do have the United States influence, they still got the country to themselves. They can do many things where they can create their own farms and build up Haiti. So that being said, we got to understand the powers that we really have within us, not only as African Americans, which is started from, but worldwide, the African diaspora, even in Africa. But this whole topic is us African Americans embracing who we are. We don't have to embrace other tribes in Africa or to be Haitians or Jamaicans or to be different ethnicities, which we know they all black. We know they all our brothers and sisters. But why not embrace who we are while we're right here in America? Why do we have to move to other places? Well, right now, we're in a better state in a lot of black countries, to be honest with you. And they got a lot of programs where you can progress, even if you is homeless, even if you don't got food. They got programs where you could succeed, depends on what state you go to. So with that being said, there's no way that we can lose in the American country unless we choose to be homeless. A lot of people choose to be homeless because they don't want to follow no rules. There are rules everywhere in the universe. So with that being said, this is why we should embrace ourselves, because we're the most powerful, most thinking intellectual people. And we love drama. We love to talk trash. We love action. When I say drama, it don't mean we love for people to get killed, even though they do it a lot here. We love drama as far as action, entertainment, fun. It's part of our nature. Like dancing. It's part of our nature that come from the motherland. So the Africans in the motherland, we can relate to them. We can relate to those in the African diaspora, those in Haiti, those in Jamaica, those in the Caribbean, those in Brazil, those in Colombia, those in Mexico who's African. We can relate because we all do sort of the same stuff as far as the way we love to dance, our creativity through music, through arts, and embracing, our blackness, like the kinky hair we have, the different hairstyles, not only kinky, some got coily or curly hair, but we got different types of skills, different types of ability than any other race. And I have to say that dude with melanin, us to be the most melanated people on the planet, has a lot to do with that. And the sun gives us a lot of energy to do those things because we are energetic people, energy people who holds energy and light that other races can't really do much as we could. Not saying they can't do it, but not much as we could. So this gives us ability, and this is why we should embrace who we are, even in Americas, because we are very powerful people. We influence the world, so we should be careful what we say, careful what we put on the internet, be careful what we do, and stuff like that there, because everything we do, people, we influence other cultures. Just look all on YouTube, you will see, look all on social media, you will see Africans. You can't tell no different. You'll think they African Americans the way they act. The same way in the Caribbeans. So that being said, if you didn't hear them talk, you wouldn't know no different because all of us dressing alike worldwide. We all been colonized. That's one thing we have in common. Even in the motherland, they've been colonized. We all been colonized everywhere you go. But we all became victorious. We overcome slavery in some form or some faction. We all had a slave hero or heroes. Like the Gullah Geechee. We won our freedom over here. Just like in Haiti, they won their freedom. The Africans over there. Over here, we won our freedom. Also in Brazil, they won their freedom. There's statues and histories everywhere you go in every country. And so far as fighting among each other, I say that's a no-no. Why not embrace each other? Why not love each other? It's good that we could visit our brothers and sisters' countries and embrace each other and love each other more. So we should always embrace who we are. The ancestors lived through us. It lived through your DNA. Your ancestors is the continuance of who you are. So we must always embrace who we is, And we all been spiritual people, always free-hearted and loving more than any other race. So why not love your essence, love who you are? So once you know yourself and you wake up to that, y'all be able to embrace yourself no matter where you go, any part of the world where there's African people, y'all be able to get along with. So all that fighting among each other, Haitians thinking they're better than African Americans, and African Americans think they're better than Haitians, and Jamaicans think they're better than African Americans, and African Americans think they're better than Jamaicans. We don't have none of that. Or Africans in the motherland think they're better than African Americans. We don't have no competition among each other. I mean, even in over here in North America, we beefing with each other, a lot of us, which we shouldn't have. We should know each other. And it's a shame that we can't even walk around certain neighborhoods because we're scared of each other more than any other race. We scared of each other more than any other race. So once we learn to all get along, first know ourselves and learn about ourselves and learn how to embrace ourselves, we'll know how to love each other. So that being said, this is why we should, as African Americans, embrace who we are. We're the most powerful, most influential people with African DNA, even though we hybrid, got many different tribes or African in our DNA, but also a little mixture of European and a little bit of mixture of Native America, Asia in us. You still got dominant, over 60% dominant African DNA. And that's why you look at our phenotypes, what shows African. You see curly hair, kinky hair, African. It comes out because it dominates. So we should be able to get along with everybody else, you know what I'm saying, as sisters and brothers. Even those in Africa, they've been tampered with too. Which means it's been a mixture over there, like Ethiopia's, South Africa, a lot of areas in Africa, they've been mixed too. That's why they look like us. So that being said, we should, as sisters and brothers, learn how to embrace each other and love each other. The whole topic is you should embrace who you are. Our ethnicity of who we are, our ethics, our race is African American or Black American. And on the street level, we talk to each other in the slango, a nigga, a Negro. So which in Wikipedia terms is Negroid. We Negroid people. So that being said, we should embrace each other and love each other regardless of what shape, what form we in, We act the same on a lot of levels without even like trying. So we eat some of the same foods naturally, do some of the same dances in certain ways naturally. We love music naturally. We got rhythm. We the one of the funniest people in the world naturally. We are the ones who the world embrace, all especially Europeans, other cultures. They embrace us as Africans in general. And I ain't even talking about African Americans. African Americans even go even more harder with the intellect part because we always think we smart. And this is where the challenges come at. We battling each other who the smartest instead of accepting each other for who we are. This will work out if we accept each other for who we are instead of having challenges of who the smartest. So that being said, we overcame all that. We are continuing of our ancestors. And we got to give them credit because they fought the way for us today to make it this far. And any excuse is on us. We just got to fight harder than any other race to make it. So that being said, look who dance. Look at our styles. Look at our fashion. Look at how we operate. Look how we move. You know what I mean? Even our projects is better than some of the third world African countries. So you had people from Ghana and Kenya doing videos of our projects, and they say our products better than some of the way they live, who are regular in Africa. We ain't even talking about African slums. So the way they live in the projects, they got cable, they got some of everything, air. There's no way you can't make it in America. They have so many programs, which third world countries, and other countries don't have these programs. So it's no way if you're homeless in America, it's because you choose. You don't want to follow the rules and laws. Because they have so many programs, you just got to follow the rules and you will make it. So that being said, the most rebellious country, the most rebellious people is African Americans. The reason I say that, because they had to find a way to calm us down and find a way to utilize us for the best of their ability. Without us, the Europeans over here won't be the strongest military country, the strongest country there is. They use African brains and minds and take our ideas to create all these different weapons and different technologies and stuff. Not saying that the Europeans and Chinese people ain't smart, but we know where the most of the ideas come from, African Americans. So that being said, a lot of your inventions, over 100 something inventions African Americans had created, even some of the cars, ideas of cars, some of everything, electricity. So with that being said, from the phones, cell phones, look it up. With that being said, we should embrace who we are because we're some of the most powerful people on the planet. You only can be stopped by who you think you are. So when you know that you are African American, you should embrace how really royal you is in your own sense, in your own way. When you think of it, you know how all the rest of the country look at you and they follow you and your style, the way they want to imitate you, they want to be like you. Even those in the motherland of Africa, they imitate Africans. They imitate our style. They imitate our ways. Also in the Caribbean, same thing. So we should love who we are. Embrace who you are. That's basically what I'm saying to African Americans. Embrace and love who you are, just like the Haitians love themselves. Jamaicans love themselves. Dominican Republican people over there who has African DNA love themselves. Brazilians love themselves. So embrace who you are no matter where you at. Especially the African American culture. Why should I move to another country when this is our land too? All over the world is our land. So with that being said, now you understand, people. That's all I have to say.